Hey everyone, I want to talk to you today about how to grow your own garden. Now, when a flower doesn't bloom, you fix the environment in which it grows, not the flower. So, I don't have a green thumb, but I'm learning, and I leave all the gardening and all that gardening magic to my husband, who's created a lot of large garden beds since we've moved into our house, as well as orchards. So we have a lot of fruits and vegetables and flowers in our yard. It really is magical. And it makes my spring and my summers, those are my favorite times of year because I get to watch that garden grow. So when my husband gave me this, it's a braided hibiscus on Mother's Day, I was surprised at how much I really loved it and wanted to take care of it. I have been given plants before, but I haven't really cared that much about them for whatever reason. Not this one. This one had these gorgeous red orange blossoms. It was so lovely, but the plant just really seemed really sickly at times. So it's a tropical plant. I live in the northeast of the United States and it can get pretty cold here in the winter. So it spends its summers outside in the warmth, but we bring it inside during the winter. And while it bloomed for a little bit, it really stopped producing flowers. I could see that it was alive, but it wasn't really thriving, especially during the winter months. So I started to learn about how I could help it grow and bloom. And there's nothing wrong with the plant. It was simply because it was just in the wrong environment. When it was indoors, I'd have to move it from room to room, and we have central heat, but we often use our fireplace because it can get our living room really nice and toasty warm. But it doesn't heat all of the houses, and that plant was in one room in our living room where it was really hot, and that was too much for the plant. It was starting to dry up. And then our guest room was too cold because the heat from that fireplace didn't get to the guest room. So then we moved it again. And then our kitchen is where we put it. And it was just right in front of our window so it could get some sunlight. So it was like not too hot, not too cold. Kitchen was perfect, sort of like Goldilocks. But then I learned I needed to feed it differently. So I added some organic fertilizers to give it some more nutrients. And I probably wasn't watering it enough either. I really learned that because it's a tropical plant, tropical flower, it needs a lot of water also. So I gave it water, and yes, I gave it filtered water because plants don't like chemicals either. And because I had a real affinity for this plant, I really love this plant. But then from there, I waited. I gave it some TLC. I gave it the air that it needs. And I waited because when you plant a seed or start nourishing a plant, it takes time to see the results, and it takes trust and knowing that it's going to happen. So I waited, and then guess what happened? This beautiful braided hibiscus started to produce these monster blooms, and dozens of them at that. So it went from dormant to blossoming, bright orange flowers. Now, I tell you this because our bodies are similar to the plants and garden we nurture and grow. We start with the seed, then we feed our body the nutrients to help it grow. And that looks like whole foods, it looks like targeted supplements, giving ourselves enough sunshine and vitamin D as well as air to breathe, and TLC as well. So, really incorporating that self care that we need as well. And also giving us pure water to hydrate ourselves. And then we have to give ourselves time. We have to wait, and we have to trust, and we have to believe. And we give ourselves that time to see signs of growth and life. And when you plant your garden in the spring, you know you won't see those blossoms for several weeks. So similarly, your body generates new cells every day, and these cells make up sperm, they make up egg, which are the genetic components to your future baby. And you can control how you feed those cells. They can be nurtured to be their most fertile by giving your cells what it needs and then trusting in the process. Because you're born with all the eggs that you're ever going to have. And while you can't control the quantity of them, you can control and you can improve upon the quality of those eggs that do remain. So give your body and your husband's too 90 days to improve the quality of your cells. You give it what it needs, believe in it, and you watch the seeds you sow turn into beautiful blooms. I'd like to invite you to my masterclass that teaches you how to grow your garden and how I work with my clients as well. And I will link that into the comments. So I hope you have a great week, and I will talk to you soon.